Welcome to the Arsenal Show. We are live, and it is the preview of Manchester City versus Arsenal, the clash of the Titans, Miyagi versus Danielson, Darth Vader versus Skywalker. What a game it's going to be. They're saying it's going to be the game of the season. It could be a game that could potentially shape Arsenal's season massively. The storyline, the headlines will be Pep versus Arteta, but ultimately it'll be down to the 22 players on the pitch. But who will be heroes and who will be the villains? Join me today to decide their fate. He's probably one of the most unbiased fans I've ever met in my life. It's transfer expert Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, how you doing, Kieran? Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. Yeah, perfectly, perfectly the way you put it there. Yeah, it's getting close now. One more sleep and everything, and yeah, it's lot. I mean, we've had a lot of banter over the last couple of weeks or months actually on other shows, but yeah, look, it's down to proper business now, isn't it? It's the best team, Man City, best team in the world. Over the last few years, I don't think anybody can deny that. What the trophies, what they've won, their players, but they're up against probably the best team in the country at the moment. So, yes, mate, it's going to be good. But yeah, like I said, a lot of banter has been going on. I've seen it online, and from both sets of supporters. But yeah, I'm sure we're going to get into it. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. Looking forward to it.
Well, we're joined by Manchester City official general secretary, chief secretary. I gave you a promotion in a split second. General Secretary Kevin Parker. How you doing, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm not so bad, thank you. Sorry I'm a bit late. I hadn't forgot about it because I'm sat on my PC, but we've got a big dinner tonight. It's the official supporters club's 75th anniversary tonight, so awesome. I'm organising a big dinner for 500 people. So it's I've been busy throwing emails here, left, right, and centre. So,
well, thank you for gracing us with your time, because I know it's valuable. It's clearly valuable. Any star players, any ex-players going down there tonight?
Lots of ex-players coming along, yeah, from a different era. It's difficult to get players to functions these days, isn't it? But yeah, there's players from time gone by. There Gary Owen, Tommy Booth, Joe Corrigan, ex-manager Brian Horton is coming along, Andy Dibble. Kenny Clements, Dave Bennett, Ian Bowyer. So there's quite a few, and plus more, plus a few City supporting celebrities. And we have a more recent former player coming along, but I can't disclose who that is. He's a surprise guest.
All right, surprise guest tonight. So if you haven't got your tickets, or if you're not a guest, you're missing out. Clearly,
out, definitely.
Yeah, I see you in WhatsApp after the show, right? Okay.
Steve, the last time we spoke, you said you weren't nervous beforehand, but just the other day the nerves started settling in. Is it peaked now?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Yeah, it's getting close. Like it's just like I said before. Before Kev jumped on there. Look, a lot of banter over the last few weeks. A lot of laughing and joking and jive from both sets of fans from both sets of supporters. But yeah, look, as I've said, Man City, look, when it comes to it, they're the best team on the planet. There's no doubt about that. And but look, the nerves are there. They're probably at its limit. Well, maybe not its limit. I'm sure just before kickoff tomorrow they'll be at their limit, and probably go off the stratosphere once the game starts going on. But as an Arsenal fan, I'm a lot more comfortable and confident than I was last year because I think we're playing better at this time of year than we was last year, and also the fact that we've got a better team than we did last year. And the fact that we're not going into the game, well, there may be injuries, but it doesn't seem like it seems that everybody's going to be okay from our side. So we're going into it in a good place. So look, if you're not going to have some kind of confidence this time, man, I don't think you're ever going to. So yeah, but again, when the match starts, I think that the nerves are going to be the same as they was last year because it's such a big football match. But it can go either way. So many different sort of battles on the pitch. On the touch line. Duels that are going to have to be won in certain areas will probably decide the game. It's and we'll probably get into it. But yeah, as I said, I am confident because of the way we are at the moment. Because this is different from last season when we went into it. We went into it last season. We were starting to drop off form. We were starting to lose players, and you was like, "Oh no, it's bad enough going into these type of games anyway. When you're not at your full strength and you're not at your best. Other than going in it with that little bit of you're not on the form of where you would like to be. So, but this time's different. So I'm excited over it. Yeah,
excited. Good to hear from you, Con. Kevin, there's a lot has been made about the injury to Kyle Walker and both John Stones, but I see plenty of cover there, surely.
Well, listen, unfortunately, unlike Arsenal to a certain extent, because our players showed their loyalty to their country and turned up for these games, they ended up getting injured. And, Kyle Walker and John Stones are two big losses. I think there's 4 or 5 players that you would start in that team that create everything else around them. I think John Stones, Kyle Walker are 2 of them, Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, and currently Phil Foden. If one of those is missing, it weakens the team. If 2 of them are missing, it severely weakens the team. We have got cover in those areas. We've got Akanji, we've got Ake, who are very good players. We've got Diaz as well. But Kyle Walker is a starter every time, and John Stones, if he's fit in a game like this, is a starter every time. So, listen, the squad game is the squad game. It is what it is. I never like talking about injuries anyhow, because football teams have the opportunity to get players in and keep them in the squad. Pep does tend to like a very small squad, though. You will notice that City's squad is quite small, really. He likes to have a small squad because it's easier to keep them happy. If you've got 16 or 17, real squad players, rather than, I'm not talking about the juniors that you might add to that.
It's high quality.
High quality 16, 17. You can rotate them. You can't rotate 25 players. It's impossible. Yeah. And unrest then gets into the squad. So it's at times like this, I think, that might work against you. But it is what it is. We'll have to go on. Pep is a master at finding somebody to play in a position perhaps that they've never even played in before, or finding a formation that works when certain players are not available. Listen, I'm a mixture of both. I'm a bit nervous because it's a big game. I think it's a game that we can't afford to lose. I don't think either team could afford to lose it, but I'm looking at it from a City point of view. I don't think it's a game that we can afford to lose. But I'm also laid back about it because, we've been here before, and this team has belief in itself. But it's a massive game. I don't like using the word massive up here in the north. It's a Mickey name, that really. But it is a massive game. But am I nervous? Yeah, I am nervous because, as Steve said, Arsenal are bang on form. It looks as if their squad is completely fit, and so they're at the best. They've got a fully fit squad. So we are going to have to be at our best to get a result tomorrow.
Yeah. Definitely both teams are going to have to be at their best to get anything out of the game. Steve, Kevin was saying he doesn't think it's he thinks it's a must not lose. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I mean, I can't fully. I mean, if I mean, I'd take a point now. I mean, I would if it was offered to me. I think I would take a point. If by this time, like, well, not this time tomorrow, but by tomorrow evening, if we've come away with a draw, I mean, I'd be, you've got to be happy with that. You've got to be happy with that. I'm not so much thinking that whoever wins tomorrow, it's the end. But it does. I think if Man City win it, then I think that that puts them in a very, very, very strong position. If Arsenal win it, I don't think it's over, and I still don't think we're favourites, even if we beat City tomorrow. So I'm not in the camp of that. It's a must win for either side. I think whatever the result tomorrow, there'll still be 9 games to go, and still 27 points to be played for. So, so no. But on what Kevin said, you look at Man City side, and you do look at the injuries, and you do look at players that you may think that Arsenal may be able to get at them, but you always go back to that same thing, and you just think Pep Guardiola. No matter what injuries he has, what squad he has at the beginning of the season, what type of situation he is in going through the season, whether they're on form, off form, players are out with injuries, he always comes up with something, doesn't he? You wouldn't be surprised, like if he stuck him up on the left wing or something and it'd work, or you bring Núñez in and he put him in the midfield and he had an absolute weldy or something. Do you know what I mean? You just never know with City. So look, they've got Walker out, Stones is out, but even as an Arsenal fan, I'm still not like, I'm just going there. For me, we're playing Manchester City and we're playing Pep Guardiola, and it's as the difficulty for me lessened because those players are out. No, not at all. Because anybody who's watched Man City in the past should be aware that this has happened to City before. They've had De Bruyne out for God knows how long of the season. Haaland's been injured. It doesn't make any difference. So what difference is it going to make if Stones and Walker are out? So for me, it's Man City. We're playing Man City. They're at the end of it. Whether they got 2-3 players out or not, I don't think it's going to make a blinding bit of difference. Arsenal got to go there, be at their best.
Yeah, 100%. Kevin, news that Kevin De Bruyne has been training in recent days and looks like it could be in contention of the game. Perfect timing, really.
Yeah, listen, I think Kevin's been fine, to be honest with you. He had a little bit of a niggle, and Pep didn't play him in the FA Cup game, but he's had 2 or 3 weeks rest. And listen, as we know with Kevin, he's such an essential player for us that even last season, in the run-in, so I think starting with that game at home against Arsenal, all the way in through that run-in and the FA Cup final, Champions League final, Kevin was carrying a hamstring injury. But, he was so essential to that team that Pep played him. So I think it's just a niggle with Kevin this time round, and Pep will definitely start him. He's one of those players that I named right at the start of this chat. He's essential to us.
I mean, since he's come back from his injury, he's already racked up 6 goal contributions in 9 games. A massive player for you, and it could be a key player tomorrow.
He will be a key player without any shadow of a doubt. I think we're unbeaten in something like 22 now. So, and part of that has been the return of Kevin and Erling. So essential. But we, like I said, we're facing a very good, in-form, fit Arsenal team. So I suppose from a City perspective, we'd probably hope that Arsenal are a little bit off form tomorrow. Because, if they're bang on it, it's going to be a tough game without any shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, no, hopefully it's an entertaining one.
I don't care if it's entertaining. I just want us to win.
I think that
the entertaining bit can come for the neutrals.
Yeah.
I don't think any City fan or any Arsenal fan is particularly looking forward to it being a good game. They're just looking forward to it being a game that they want to win.
I never enjoy them. I sit there.
You can't enjoy them, can you?
Sick the whole game.
I'll just say,
Steve,
go on. Mate. Yeah, no, go on, mate. Fine. Sorry.
What's your predicted lineup for tomorrow? You think Mikel Arteta is going to keep with the same team he kept in the last win?
Yeah, I mean, I'll quickly go through it. I mean, I say Raya obviously will be in goal. Ben White and obviously Gabriel and Saliba. There's obviously going to be a question at left back. What will Arteta do? Will he? Zinchenko's now, fit, and he could decide to bring him in. But
he's not. When Zinchenko's been out for a little while or come back from injuries, it's usually taken him a couple of games to get back into the swing of things. Do you think he'll risk it?
Not on a normal occasion, but Kiyo's played 2 massive matches in the midweek against Wales, wasn't it? Where he had to play he ended up playing 120 minutes of football. So you never know whether he's going to be tired. Look, I don't know what he's going to do. Personally, on a personal basis, I'd go for Tomiyasu tomorrow.
Okay.
I'd put Tomiyasu in. I'd rather have Tomiyasu up against Foden.
Okay.
Rather than Kiyo, and I think that the only reason why I'm saying that is because Tomiyasu, I think, is our best defender, best left back defender. I mean, he normally gets brought in for these big games. I mean, he's pocketed Salah twice. He's man marked him out the game twice, Tomiyasu, and he's been brought in for big games like this. So, Tomiyasu is fully fit now. So there is a question mark on what he's going to do, whether he's going to play Kiyo or Tomiyasu. Personally, I've started to swing. Kiyo's there. Look, he's been really good, but how that's affected him in midweek, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Tomiyasu starts. And then it's pretty straightforward for me. I think it's too soon for Partey. I think you need Jorginho, you need Rice.
It's never too soon to party. It's never too soon to party.
Yeah.
It's for Arsenal fans.
For the Thomas one. But yeah, that'd be Rice, and obviously, and look, we need Rice to stop De Bruyne. That's the big thing tomorrow. Rice has been our when Kevin De Bruyne's on song, it's like he's unbelievable. He's there. They've got a lot of match winners, but he's the guy, isn't he? Kevin De Bruyne, he's the man, and our man this season's Declan Rice. So that battle in that midfield between Rice and De Bruyne, if Rice can stop De Bruyne, then that could take us to actually going and win the football match. And vice versa, really, with the Odegaard-Rodri situation. With Rodri stopping, because Odegaard's on fire at the moment. Rodri's, we all know what Rodri is. If Rodri can, it's that those 4 players there could be integral to the whole match. Really could. And Tomiyasu Foden battle as well is interesting. And up front, it's obviously Kai Havertz is starts for me. And personally, for me, I'd play Jesus on the left.
Okay.
So Martinelli hasn't played. Trossard, I'm not sure. Jesus back at Etihad, playing on that left. Work
a lot of energy out of him.
A lot of energy. Getting back defensively, because we all know he works hard. I would play Jesus on the left instead of Martinelli and Trossard.
Is Martinelli likely to be fit? What was the latest news on that?
Again, I don't know. I think he doesn't seem unbelievable. If he had all the players that Arsenal are sort of looking at, he seems to be the one that could be doubtful more than anybody.
Yeah.
And it will be a different sort of game with him now, with Martinelli and Walker, and maybe they'll both be out. But I would probably maybe even swing for Jesus anywhere, because Martinelli hasn't played a lot of football recently. So Jesus, Havertz, and obviously Saka on the right. And I think that'd be a good Arsenal side.
Solid team. Kevin, what's your predicted lineup for tomorrow?
Well, there's also still a doubt about Ederson, of course. He got injured at Anfield, although I believe he's been training this week. But listen, Ortega's a fantastic goalkeeper as well. His distribution is great. Not as good as Ederson, who's just a phenomenon, I think, as a goalkeeper in terms of his distribution. But a good goalkeeper. So either or. It will probably be Diaz, Ake, Akanji at right back, possibly Rico Lewis, but I think probably Akanji, Gvardiol, Rodri and Kovacic, who's been playing brilliantly the last 6 weeks. Kovacic, he's been unbelievable. So I think he gets in tomorrow. Bernardo, De Bruyne, Foden, Haaland, and I'm not sure Doku or Grealish. Probably Grealish for me. More experience.
Okay.
Although I picked one too many there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So Haaland, he'll play 4-2-3-1. But we never play that formation. If anybody can tell me what formation Pep plays, then they're a genius, because I never know. I never know what formation he plays.
It's the same. It's the same with Arteta. I think they've been scored like Arteta's the apprentice, isn't he? To Pep. They ask Arteta the same question, like, where does who play? Where are you playing him? And he looks and shrugs his shoulders as if to say, what you talked about. He ain't an 8, he ain't a 6, he ain't a 10. He don't play on the left. He's like, we play 1,000 different differences every game.
It's very important that the players can play in different positions to be comfortable in different positions. If they move around the pitch, they've got to be fluid around the pitch. And if your full back or your centre back is moved into midfield, they've got to be able to pass to a level of a midfielder. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Can I ask Kevin a question? How much does it worry you, Kev? Like with Stones and Doku out, Stones and Walker out, and having to bring who is it? You saying they would replace them?
Rico Lewis, or Akanji. Listen, Akanji is a
big worry? Is it a big worry for City fans?
Well, probably not. No, listen, because Akanji, I think we paid £15 million for Akanji, and he's been
such a quality buy.
Yeah,
it was out of nowhere as well.
Sorry,
I felt like it was out of nowhere as well.
Yeah, it was. I think it was on the back of a conversation that Erling Haaland had with Pep about Akanji. I think it was as simple as that, and that they spoke to Dortmund, and he wasn't particularly getting in the team somehow, and they stole him. They stole him for £15 million.
He's a good player.
But Rico Lewis is a slightly different sort of player. He's more dynamic, I think, and I'd be comfortable with either of those. But he'll probably play Ake and Diaz at the back, and again, Ake has been phenomenal. So, listen, I do think that if Walker and Stones had been fit, those two start tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Who's going to be?
The team isn't particularly weakened by them not playing, but the benches. That's the difference, I suppose. That if Walker is fit, he plays. If Stones is fit, he plays. And then you've got Akanji and Ake on the bench, haven't you? And that's the difference. We don't really have any other central defensive players that we can put on the bench. And that's so if somebody gets injured during the game tomorrow, that's where the problem arises, I think.
Yeah, past that, it is a lot of players that have come through the youth or second string players as well. Not dropping level too much, but still, it's just not quite the level of what you've currently got in your team. Kevin, who's going to be key for you tomorrow, do you think?
The referee?
Yeah.
There we go, already getting it in.
No. I think the referee for both teams. To be fair. I don't know. I don't even know who the referee is. I'm not saying the referee.
Anthony Taylor. It's Anthony Taylor.
Well, if it's Anthony Taylor, it's Anthony Taylor. I've nothing to say on that one way or the other. I just think we need a strong referee tomorrow for both teams. So it's essential that we get the right game, and the only way, and sometimes the only way you can get the right game, listen, it's going to be competitive, and I love a competitive game. And what I don't want is a referee for either side, just coming out with stupid yellow cards for challenges that 6 years ago are not yellow cards. So I think we need a referee to understand that this is going to be a very, very competitive football game. When you've got Rodri, when you've got Rice, in the centre of midfield, there will be challenges that will be crunching. And I think we just have to accept that is part of the game. From who is going to be essentially City. Listen, I can't. Who could have picked? Rodri, De Bruyne, Foden, Haaland. And you would say the same in Arsenal's team. I would have to say, I would rather he played Zinchenko.
Yeah, I bet.
I see a slight weakness in defensively in Zinchenko for me. And so I don't think he will play him tomorrow.
No,
but I would be more comfortable if he did, because I see a slight weakness. But that's probably the only weakness that I could see in the Arsenal team. So they're all going to have to be bang on their game, the City players. They're going to have to hope that 1, 2 or 3 from Arsenal are not bang on their game. And this is what the neutral will want to see. The neutral will want to see 2 fantastic football teams at it, playing against each other to the best of their ability, sit back and watch a great game, and they don't really care who wins. But there's not going to be many neutrals in the stadium tomorrow, I can promise you.
Yeah, true. Steve, who's going to be key for Arsenal tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's similar to Kevin. Where can it? You can start right from the back. You can start from, Tommy Asher up against Foden is obviously going to be the Saliba-Haaland battle. There's going to be battles all over the pitch. Havertz, he's going to be key. The way he plays, and the way in that false 9 position. He's been doing it absolutely excellently over the last 10 games. He seems to have found his thing, doesn't he? That false 9 position for Arsenal, which is, he's been really impressive. So he's going to be. But I think, I'll go back to what I've already said. I think that midfield with Rice. I think Rice is going to be massive. I think, De Bruyne is. Is their main match winner if you have to pick any of them. Although, as I said, they've got so many great players. But if Rice can stop De Bruyne from playing, then that's going to take us a long way into possibly maybe getting the 3 points. If we could stop him, if De Bruyne has a bad game tomorrow, or not a bad game, if Rice can sort of take him out the game as much as possible, then. I think that's going to be big, very big for Arsenal. So I'll go for Declan Rice tomorrow, and hopefully he can stop.
And what's your score prediction for tomorrow then?
Well, I'd say I'd take a draw, but I think, I mean, look, this Arsenal side is this is the strongest Arsenal side since 2004. And this is the best form I've seen Arsenal been in since then. I've never known us to have such a stronger team. So, I've got to sort of, back my side. If I don't back them now against the best team in the world, I'm never going to back them, am I? So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win. I'm going to go for a 1-0, and just hopefully that our defenders and our midfielders can stop their world-class players. And and similar to Kevin, I just hope the game just doesn't end up being won or lost or whatever on a stupid referee or VAR decision. I just hope that happens. And look, and at the end of the day, as far as Arsenal, I say I'm nervous, but if Arsenal lost to Man City tomorrow, Arsenal's still a very, very good football team. Do you know what I mean? You're going to hear a lot of, oh, here they go, they bottled it again. And no, we're going to the champion. We're going to the team that's just won the treble, won 4 trophies last year. They're the best. You know, there will be no shame if we do get beat tomorrow. But you know, or we draw. So we're still going to come away, whatever the result is. You know, as one of the top teams in Europe at the moment. So, but yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-0. I'm going to back them.
BX Gunner says the Magic's bound to run out of City, and Johnny says City 1, Arsenal 4 is a big score there from Johnny.
It's a bit early to be drinking on a Saturday, John. It's not even 1 o'clock yet, is it? It's just gone 1.
Yeah.
BX has gone for a 3-1 to the Gunners as well. It looks like someone's having a party today.
Yeah, I do tend to find, not you lads, of course, I do tend to find some of the Arsenal social media lads are a bit cuckoo, aren't they?
I saw a 3-1 score earlier, and I couldn't stop laughing.
I saw what's he called? It's
it
Dord
Turkish?
3 or something. I don't know whether you've ever seen him. You know,
Who's that?
Some Arsenal fan on Instagram. It's Dord 3 or something. You know, jumping on the bandwagon on Wednesday morning or Thursday morning, saying that how ironic that both Cal Walker and John Stones had got injured in the 10th minute of their games playing for England, and no doubt that they'll both be running onto the pitch on Sunday afternoon, and it's a conspiracy against Arsenal Football Club and all this. I mean,
you'd go all the way out there just to get injured? No, I don't think so.
Well, I think he said they were faking injury, you know, which is ridiculous. In terms of results tomorrow, I can't predict a scoreline, but a draw's no good for me. I think because a draw for either team absolutely gives Liverpool an edge. I think we have to remember there's 3 teams in this race. Yeah. So a draw is no good for me. I don't think a draw, to be honest with you, is any good for Arsenal either. I think if Liverpool win tomorrow, is it today? Yeah, if Liverpool win tomorrow, I think they're playing, aren't they?
Yeah.
One of these teams has to win to stay neck and neck with Liverpool. I don't think a draw is any good at all. I sort of understand what Steve means, but Liverpool, there you go. What Liverpool go on to 67 points if they win tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? I think they play. Yeah, Brighton.
Against Brighton.
So no, a draw for me. A draw. So a draw would put us on 64. That would leave us, if they win, that would leave us 3 points behind them. They've got a better goal difference than us. No, it has to be a win for me. But in terms of predicting the scoreline, I'll take any scoreline as long as we've got one more goal than Arsenal. You know,
yeah.
But a draw isn't. I don't think a draw does either team any good.
See, I understand what Kevin's saying, but I think from a sensible Arsenal fan's point of view, and there are some of us out there.
Have you found one?
Kevin, you know where I am with some of the Arsenal fan base.
I know, yeah.
I sit alongside you, mate. But I just shake my head and think, oh my word, calm down. But I think I'm still in this in this space where I'm a little bit like the Arsenal's still progressing, and we're still building to win the league. So for me to come away with a draw, I'm looking at it as like the future. And for us to come away with, all right, we know we've got 4 points against Man City, and we would have got 4 points against Liverpool. For Arsenal, from where we've come, that for me, that's massive. That's progress. That's, you think, wow, now we'll go on.
I understand that, Steve, but the reality is, you've done that journey now. You are where you are. You're right up there at the top. You're competing against the 2 teams in the Premier League who have been challenging for this title for 7 or 8 years, whilst Klopp and Guardiola have been around. So I don't think it's a case of taking steps anymore. You've taken that massive leap already. You're in a position where.
Do you think we're there, Kev? Though, do you think?
Yeah, I do.
Do you think we'll be there? I still, even as like an Arsenal fan, I'm still that little bit of wanting to get what Liverpool have won Champions League and the Premier title in recent times. Man City, I still think that we're building towards, you know, like
all
next
good teams-
season.
All
Yeah, go
good teams are always building. You know, I think City, Liverpool, Arsenal are already looking at next season to see how they can build on the team that they've got this season. So all good teams are always building. Arsenal, to be fair, you try and find yourself a weakness. You probably say, you know, a striker that can score 20 goals a season. But you look at this Arsenal team, it's absolutely where they need to be to challenge the two teams that have been the best in the Premier League for 7-8 seasons. So I do not think by any stretch of the imagination that anybody at Arsenal will think getting a draw at City tomorrow shows that they're going places. It doesn't. They will tell you that getting a win at the Etihad tomorrow will show the team that Arsenal are, rather than getting a draw shows the team that they want to be. I do think Arsenal are absolutely bang on it. You know, 4 months ago, you know, when they lost at Fulham, I think it was, I thought that maybe they've just not got what it takes. Well, they've shown since then that they have got what it takes. And it's possible that this Arsenal team could win the Premier League and the Champions League this season.
Oh, they could. There's no doubt about that they could. But I mean, if Manchester City won the Premier League this year, we finished 3 points and we're behind them, and you know we'd won, we'd already beaten you, we'd already beaten Liverpool and gone to your places and not lost. You know, there's obviously I want to win the league, I want to win the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? I want to win those competitions that you've won. But you know, I'm not going to be like, you know, disappointed. Do you know what I mean? If I end the season and I'm like, you know, because I know what's coming, Kev. I know what's coming, you know, from rival fans, from even Arsenal fans. Oh, we failed. He failed again 4 years in a row now. Do you know what I mean? So I agree with everything you said. I just already said
no shame in Arsenal with not winning the Premier League this season.
That's where I think that's where I'm coming from. Yeah.
I'm not saying that there will be no shame in them not winning it. However, I tell you what will be a shame. They will think if they went to the Etihad tomorrow and drew, and they missed out on the title by 1 or 2 points, they will look back and think that wasn't such a great point at the Etihad after all, was it? I think you've got
or they could look back at the Fulham and West Ham games.
Every game from here on in, take it, and then you don't have to worry about the opposite. What the opposition do. You don't have to worry about Liverpool. You don't have to worry about City. And this is what City have done in previous seasons. As those last 10, 12, 13 games have come at the end of the season, City have managed to, in most cases, go on a run where the football. And when you win in all those games, you don't have to worry what City might be doing in their game. You don't have to worry what Liverpool might be doing in their game. And this Arsenal team, I think, are capable of doing that. But it has to start tomorrow. You know, it's not a case of going into it and getting a draw and thinking, wow, that's the toughest game that we've been through and we've got a draw. Let's go win the rest. Because you might get a draw, go win the rest and still not win the league.
Yeah. I still think it will give Arsenal fans, you know, that sense of like we're going that little bit further. I mean, after that game, if we win and Arsenal come away from the Etihad with a win, I mean, it's like, why are we worried about? I mean, we've already looked at the fixtures and we're thinking, well, you know, we've got Tottenham, we've got Man United coming up, but if we beat Man City, I suppose you're looking at it and you think, well, why the hell are we worried about Tottenham and Man United? And then you'll probably get everybody look up and go, well, yeah, you know, they've just beat City. You know, who are Man United? Who are Tottenham? You know, because everybody's pointing out those games as being massive football matches, and then you know, Arsenal could slip up. So I get that, you know, as far as the team goes. But I don't think it's going to be a lot different as well. You know, if they can think, if they go to the Etihad and say hopefully they win, but if they do get a point, I mean, I'm sure they're going to go to Manchester United. I think, well, you know, if we can get a point at the Etihad, we can go to Tottenham away, we can go to Manchester United and should be able to beat these. So I still think there'll be some kind of confidence, you know, boost by getting something there anyway. But hopefully he'll win.
Yeah, I think it'll be definitely if Arsenal come out with a draw, I think it will depend how the games flowed, how the games finished. If we could have taken our chances, I think there'd be a lot dependent on it, and we'll see that tomorrow. But it is a massive game. I don't think it will decide the season, but it will massively shape it, and it will be a massive confidence boost for either team who takes points. As Kevin alluded to, a draw is probably going to be better off for Liverpool. So you're going to see a lot of Liverpool fans looking for the draw tomorrow. But make sure you join us straight after the game for the post-match reactions. And quickly go to a couple of more comments. Justin says he thinks Arsenal are still just a step away from winning the league. BX said, just even having these conversations and being in the mix at the top is damn good. And I think
that's
where
a great
Arsenal
comment.
have been so deprived of this sort of title conversation, and I think a few people thought it was a one-season thing last season, and hoping it wasn't. I think it's being more appreciative of being in this conversation consistently. I think that's probably what.
That's a great comment, mate. The fact that we're here and we're talking, we're playing Man City, and people are talking about Arsenal going up there and possibly beating them. Do you know what I mean? From where we've come from 4 years ago, which was like our club was in the doldrums, wasn't it? We had an awful football team with awful players in it, and the fans were just like, in the gutter. It was to be here now and now talking about possibly in the Champions League and winning it, going to the best team in the world, and people saying we can win this game is. For me, it's just, as I say, Arsenal fans should just appreciate that and stop coming up with these nonsense. We're going to beat City 4-1 and 5-1 because, as I say, just appreciate that we're in this conversation. I am. I know that.
Yeah. Arsenal fans out there with them scorelines. Arsenal can be in good form, and not like it doesn't have to be 3-1, 4-1. Why? What is it with these crazy scores? It's nuts. It's nuts. Just setting yourself up. That's all I know. Quickly, one before we go. We were a laughing stock for like 15 years' time. Times are changing. Yeah. Look, I 100% agree. And I think it's part and parcel why Arsenal fans are enjoying this moment so much. And people may think that they're going over the top, but like he's just said, 15 years of being the beating stick. It's time to start handing out some of them beatings ourselves. Thank you for your time today, Kevin and Steve.
Cheers, mate. Yeah.
Have a lousy Sunday.
No. I hope you have the best night tonight with your do, but I hope it is a massive hangover for tomorrow, and we absolutely batter you at the Etihad. That's what I want. That's what I want. But as long as your night tonight goes well.
Good. Thanks very much indeed. Appreciate that.
I'd take a deflected goal off Havertz's
backside
in the last minute.
Like the last two games where you beat us.
Exactly like them, mate.
Win.
Exactly like those.
You're right. You're right. Like I said before, I don't care about the score. As long as we win, I don't care how the goal comes about. So
no, I just don't want it to be like a talk about referee decision or stupid VAR thing after. That's all I've done. And I'll tell you what, that's either side. I see, because I'm either side. Let it be like a bit of brilliance from someone or something on one another like that.
All right, thank you for the comments there.
Nice to see you as always. Take care of yourself.
All right. But on that note, peace out, stay safe, and wash your hands.